Hey, as most of you know, tonight is the final performance of the Living Last Supper, and thus the extra makeup that I'm wearing today. Now the Spirit expressly says that in later times some will depart from the faith by devoting themselves to deceitful spirits and teachings of demons, through the insincerity of liars whose consciences are seared. 1 Timothy 4, verses 1 and 2. Recently, I was talking to some friends about how many churches have drifted in what they teach about church and family and social issues. So how do we know what is the truth when it comes to the plethora of issues where we have to decide what's right and what's wrong? The first question to ask is, what does the Bible say? Sometimes the Bible is quite clear on the issues of our day, and yet people will do gymnastics with Scripture in order to use the Bible to defend their position. Take, for instance, the question as to whether there are many ways to heaven. Jesus made it clear when he said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me," that there were not many ways to heaven, but one way. The second question to ask is, what has the church been teaching about this issue over the long haul? Some of the teachings that are popular right now were never taught prior to 1950. Where did these teachings come from? Were they the result of a theologian intensely studying Scripture and determining that something had been missing regarding the will of God and the clear teaching of Scripture up until that point? Or was the starting point for the change in teaching social pressure? I would submit to you that where we see the beliefs of individuals and the teachings of the church change, social pressure was the driving force, not the careful study of Scripture. Long ago, the church was united in its teachings regarding abortion, homosexual behavior, and the ordination of women. But in recent history, new teachings have been introduced regarding these areas. The early church had a pretty unified understanding of baptism and Holy Communion. But now there are many churches that teach that you must be an adult to be baptized, and that the elements of Holy Communion merely symbolize Christ's body and blood. Again, struggle with the question, what has the church been teaching over the long haul? One of the pieces of advice I received years ago that I believe applies to this issue is, keep your finger on the Bible. I might change that saying to include, keep your finger on the Bible and one eye on what the church has taught and believed from the beginning. With the guidance of the Bible and the testimony of the church, we will, Lord willing, continue to know and teach the truth that will set people free. Press on in the Lord.